The first time I ever smelled a tennis ball was my freshman year of high school when I started playing tennis. All of the girls would pass around the can of new tennis balls and smell its contents, raving over how amazing it was at the same time. Tennis was an escape back then, and being an athlete like that is a feeling I'll never ever get to have again. I remember my first day of high school. It was my first ever day of public school, ever. Pretty much every face was brand new to me. Me and my only friend Sarah went outside to the tennis courts for practice after school after that first day, and Sarah laid down in exhaustion and frustration and said, "Well, I guess we're trapped here for the next 4 years." I had hated my day just as much, or probably more, than she had, but at least there was tennis that day. Tennis was the one place where my face wasn't an unfamiliar face in a sea of many more unfamiliar faces. It was a place where smelling tennis balls was our thing. It was my only thing for a little while, and my first ever thing. By my senior year, I had a million things. My friend Madeline and I practically ran the school with the number of clubs and sports and activities and committees we were on. We had an office to ourselves. I had a set of keys to the school. I had become known among every student and teacher that I once saw as an overwhelming, unfamiliar face in a sea of unfamiliar faces. I wasn't one of the popular kids, but I liked to say I was name brand. Everyone knew who I was, and everyone generally liked me. It was still insanely stressful, perhaps way more at this point, but tennis was still my escape. The feeling of hitting that tennis ball is ingrained into my head. I remember it almost in slow motion, with the bright blue and green colors in the background of the court. I had become famous among the team for my lob shot, and the feeling of leaning back and sending that ball way up into the air, knowing it was coming down right on the back line of the court, was a feeling of power and beauty. Back when I played tennis, I was cool. Who cares that I now know that I didn't look all that cool? I hit medium shots of medium skill level, surrounded by a handful of moms clapping. But I was cool, and it was because it was the only place where I felt confident and powerful and strong and free. It was so much fun. The girls were awesome. Tennis held my biggest triumphs, even if they were just JV comeback victories, and it put me on top of the world for a couple of hours every day. I cry because I miss it, and I crave the feeling again.